Ignorance is not Jamaican culture. Because the way that we are behaving and the things that we say about ourselves and the way that we want people to think about us would lead people to believe that Jamaica is a place of ignorance.
Hello guys, my name is Golden Boy and today we want to talk about the badman culture in Jamaica. And these are things that are steepening in Jamaica. Like there's been a lot of gang violence in Jamaica, and Jamaica, in the studies that has shown that Jamaica is one of the countries that has that is most violent. Now guys, in this video this woman is going to talk about this issue, then I'll see you at the end of it and trying to give my memories or my view about these issues in Jamaica.
Greetings and salutations. It's Carla from Mortalk JA, and a little stuffy. I apologize for that. And a semester kind of come and just smash up my body. But I've just had to encounter my second fight in a 24-hour period. So it leads me to think that this is something urgent, critical that needs to be said. Jamaican people, ignorance is not your culture. I will say it again. Ignorance is not Jamaican culture. Because the way that we are behaving and the things that we say about ourselves and the way that we want people to think about us would lead people to believe that Jamaica is a place of ignorance. It is not. And when I say ignorant, I don't mean ignorant just in terms of not knowing things, although that is a part of what we do. Jamaican people, we don't know nothing about that. We know that. We know that, so we don't know nothing about that. Knowing about something does not mean that you condone it. It just means that you're aware of it. Ignorance is not the defining feature here. But when I say ignorant in this instance, what I'm actually talking about is ignorant like you can't reason with them. When I say somebody ignorant like them head chip out, them head gone, them head fly away, them dark out, all of them something there. We have come to believe that somehow being able to get that place to where you're dark out and nobody can reason with you is the hallmark of Jamaicanness. It is not. We have taken it so seriously that now we're engaged in what I call competitive ignorance, which is a situation where if you go for a knife, me have to go for a gun. If you tell me about my mother, me have to dip up under the whole of your family. There is no hope for de-escalating a situation because the second one person go yes, so the other person have to go higher. And the person who can get to the point where them dark out and just walk and look for things to kill people, the one who get to the point where them want to draw blood first, that is somehow the victor. You are not the victor. You are a victim. You are a victim of years of social conditioning on a plantation that has told you that a black person is a beast, that a black person is primitive, that a black person is somehow less rational, less reasoning than anybody else, that a black person is basically a wild animal. And so you function the way that wild animals do. And I find it interesting that for a set of people who are so into fighting down Babylon system and so no one nobody control them and no one white people tell them what to do, you have become the most effective functioning arm of that white plantation mentality because you are doing that work to kill off black people where white people cannot do it anymore. You need to stop. We are very much concerned with the idea of honor and respect here in Jamaica, right? We don't want anybody this way. I can usually tell when an argument between Jamaicans is about to go completely ridiculous when one person starts to say that other person has style them. Style, you try style me not. This, you try this, me not. You try to take me for boy, you try to take me for double, but all of them type of something there. The second that we feel that our honor has somehow been besmirched, we have to do anything that is necessary to return it. And I wonder if it is that we have some medieval relics running around in terms of our psyche, because only in a medieval time we know where somebody somehow disrespect you or them go against your honor, then you have to go into like a jousting match with them or you have to take out the long sword and come after them. This is not medieval times. Right? And I never feel we history that, so can we please get that out of our mind? I am sick and tired of us killing and shooting and beating and fighting and arguing and everything in each other over some idea of disrespect that has not taken place. Jamaican people, I need for you to learn how to separate your emotions. Disappointment is not disrespect. Sadness is not disrespect. Confusion is not disrespect. Feeling inadequate is not disrespect. None of these things are disrespect. But you treat them that way. A woman leaves her partner. Style, try style me. No, she just doesn't want to be in a relationship with you anymore. You ask somebody for money and they respectfully tell you no, they don't have any money. Style, try style me. You think man a beggar? No, I don't think you're a beggar. I think you have some money and I don't have any. That whole thing about being a beggar, those are your issues that you're taking out on me. Somebody gives you a job. to do and you're not able to figure out how to do it. Style man, try style man. Give man foolishness to do. No, it's not foolishness to do. You just don't understand it. All of these are separate emotions and none of them imply that you have been disrespected. But the second, that you essentialize every emotion you have that doesn't feel positive down to disrespect, then you are making it okay for you to react with violence to almost anything that happens to you. We have to stop it. I get it. We are the product of a violent encounter between indigenous people, African people, and European people. So we have colonial violence, cycles of it, economic violence, the poverty here, the mess that is some parts of the education system, the gender-based violence that is happening here over and over and over again, right? Racist violence that is happening here, classist violence that is happening here, all type of different violence that is happening here. That is the little stew in which we come up. And we have a chip on our shoulders. We're not the richest country. We're not the poorest country either. We're not the richest country. Plenty of places we can't go there because they have visa restriction upon we. We feel like we're less than a lot of places. And we turn that into our national personality and we walk around with it all day and expect that people are somehow going to accommodate it. Not only do we expect that people are going to accommodate it, we take it out on each other as though that's the norm. That's not the norm. That type of violence is not the norm, and it's not something that any of us should have to deal with on any daily basis. We need to heal from that violence so we can get to the place so we can function like normal people. Because I'm interested in coloniality and how colonial project continues in today. I cannot ignore the fact that a lot of these killings, woundings are being done to black people. Now people might say, well, Jamaica has a majority black population, so blah, 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 blah. They're more likely to happen to black people. They're more likely to happen to black people of a particular class. Between black people of a particular class in Jamaica. We're much less likely to try and hype upon white people or Indian people or Chinese people, which is not to say that they don't experience their own type of violence, because we know that there is a way that we love tech set upon the merchant class, people who own wholesale, people who own businesses, will love go to them house and kill them off, all of them type of something there. So clearly there is a particular type of violence that they're experiencing. But this thing where an argument over $50 turns into one man getting shot in the head back, that type of thing is more likely to happen between black people. And so I cannot ignore the fact that once again we have really taken that training on the plantation that tells us that black people are killable, that you can exterminate them, that if they offend you, you can remove them from the face of the earth because they're really not as valuable as anybody else. Anyway, one black life is not really equal to any other life, so do what you want to do. Now, these things are running around inside of us. We've been programmed that way. We've been actually actively trained into that type of belief system. And I need for us to stop and take a look at it, because this is where we are. There was what, a 24-hour period the other day where there were 15 people murdered in St. James alone, right? If you want to look at it from the aspect of gender-based violence, there have been what, like 6 women killed in the past week by their male partners or exes. And it's not that this is on the rise, it's just that we're paying attention to it, because this is something that has been happening for a long time. And so we need to get serious, because this is not what I plan to leave for my children or my nieces or my nephews. This is not where I plan to live. And I'm sick of the idea that if I want to have a good life, I have to leave Jamaica. And honestly, the only thing that's standing between me and a good life in Jamaica is some of you Jamaicans, including those in government, yes. But those of you who are walking around every day with your anti-black self-hatred, killing off everybody around you. It has to stop. Being ignorant is not being Jamaican. Being ignorant is the pathology of whiteness that has been passed down to you as a black person that you are acting out every day. Being violent does not somehow make you valuable. Being hurt and wounded from years of oppression does not give you the right to take that out on everybody else. And at some point, it becomes your responsibility to heal from that so people can actually deal with you. Don't tell me say you're dark out. Don't tell me say just say you stay. Don't tell me say such Jamaican people turn, because I'm standing here as a born and bred Jamaican, and I am not that way. Get your act together. That's a human life you're dealing with. You need to have respect for it. Not because it's a black person, not because it's a poor black person. You don't get to kill somebody just because you're dark out. And that will not be the thing that my country is remembered by. Now, this is not my post about life in leggings. Everybody does need to go and check out that hashtag, especially in light of the fact that like 6 Jamaican women have been killed by their partners in the past week. That's a different post that I'm going to do. Violence is not our culture. Stop using culture to explain all of the bad things that you do. Violence is not your culture. It never has been. Violence is something that is a part of your culture, but violence is not the thing that defines you. You're a big somebody. Take responsibility for yourself. Think better, be more responsible, and overall just be a better human. Because if there's one thing that I know Jamaicans are supposed to be, is we're supposed to be decent people.
Okay, the sisters say it all, and I can't add much more of it in this video. Now, the reality is that the gangster and badman culture is something that is really stifling in Jamaica's future. When every little dispute has to end in violence, Jamaica has two big problems, and one is corrupt leaders and violent young people. And it is not the young people's fault only. They learn it from the elders. If we can't fix those two issues, then Jamaica could be one of the greatest island in the Caribbean, because those two are the biggest hindrance to Jamaican success. It is so sad to see such beautiful country with such beautiful and great potential being stifled by madness, because that's what is it's madness. People are killing each other for fun. By the time we finish killing each other, Jamaica will be a very empty country. And foreigners who also see the potential, like me, Kenyan, I'm seeing a potential in Jamaica. Now, when a foreigner who sees the potential that Jamaica has will and come it take over, because they don't appreciate their country. We as outsiders, we are also seeing the potential, but I guess Jamaicans are very blind in this, and it's something that is very unfortunate. Now, when it comes to badism culture, I want to start by saying that most of the Jamaicans are being glorifying drugs and even the prison, mostly when they're described in their music, which are the things which started in 1970s. But every man got to give an account for his own actions. So we don't ask me to cry for you when you are on your death row. I'm not crying for you when you are in a gang and you are ganged down. Let's behave with decency, my people from Jamaica. Now, I want to talk about the so-called things that people are giving out in their views. Now, this is something that needs to be very spoken of. Like, I've also talked about the gangism in Jamaica. That is badism in culture. And also, I want to talk about the colonizers' mentality, which is something that is utterly ridiculous and show off. And it's such a damn shame that African even are not in that thing. That's not where it comes from. It is ignorance of the colonizers' mentality. This needs serious dive. Something that I've been saving for a very long time is that I want you to agree with me and what the sister have also said, that the corruption and the gang point and the gang leaders, young leaders being vibrant in gang point, it is something that is hindrance and is something that is making Jamaica to lag behind. Now, why is it that Jamaica is so violent compared to the rest of the Caribbean? Why? And the and for the to make it worse, it is not only the Jamaican, it is also when you go to America. These are things which are for that matter. Now, studies have shown that Jamaicans are at the bottom of Tottenham pole when it comes to being ignorant in the Caribbean and the most violent. And Barbados is at the top, let me say, by I'm not even being surprised. Now, Jamaicans have that attitude that knowledge will make you weak. That have to change. If you want to compete in this environment, we have a slave mentalities. That is the Jamaicans, or what they call the willful ignorance. I don't want to know if you are among the people, but what I want to tell you is that you think with words, and the less you know, the more ignorant you are. If you can get more people in Jamaica to gain, if we can get more people in Jamaica to gain more knowledge, the crime rate will fail dramatically because we'll be able to think critically. Now, this lady has been speaking about the things, about the culture of Jamaican people, and also I was very vibrant to see that the thing that is making Jamaican to go behind or to lag behind, it is the corruption and the gang members. It is just the same issues when you go to America, the same issues that are happening. Like even as we are speaking at now, there's someone who has been shot dead, and either it is being accrued by the police officers, or as they have always perceived, the black men. Now, I want you to know that I'm only speaking about this because the sister was also talking about this. So what do you think about the video which I was talking about? Is it helpful? Do you think that Jamaicans need to gain knowledge for them to start start having deciding not to have that colonialism mindset, also known as the mentality? So I hope this video helped you, and the woman also in this video. I wish I would tag her name, but I didn't know her name, but I will search for it and give it in the description. So see you in another episode. My name is Golenbo.